2025, there is a good chance that BioWare, Rocksteady, Bungie, and Ubisoft are all just going to die. And
yeah, and you can add PlayStation to that too.
the reason that's crazy is because these used to be the most reliable companies.
Yeah, and the same could be said about Sony, but you guys are out here complaining about bald-headed females in your video games, man. I'm telling you, if Intergalactic fails, that will be the end of Sony. You know, it's only so long people are going to be supporting them through those membership fees to play Grand Theft Auto 6 online. That game is single-handedly saving the PlayStation 5, bro. And what's even more funny, the game is multi-platform. That's why Sony's focusing on live service and subscriptions, because that's where the money's at. And the funny thing is, it's crazy that you say that these potential companies might be dead, but Sony was having 12 live service and subscription games, and they canceled every single one of them. And you guys act like that's not a problem. Oh, Sony could turn it around. You know, they just got to focus on the single player. Okay, and when they did, what happened to those games as well? They all failed. There you go.
You may not have liked their particular taste. Maybe you went, okay, I don't. Even the people that didn't play it knew these are the names of good games, right?
Yeah, and the same thing could be said about PlayStation. See, Microsoft is still the name of good games. Nintendo is still the name of good games. PlayStation, for some reason, I don't see it. It's so funny that you guys mock an Xbox owner for picking up an Xbox so he could play Xbox games early. But yet you guys say that they're stupid for buying Xbox games on PlayStation 5, even though you waited 15 to 25 years for some old Halo games. Like, you have to ask yourself, did you guys pick up the wrong platform? Because if you did, you should have bought an Xbox, because you'll get them day one, day and date, including third party, including Microsoft's very own titles, which are playing on PlayStation as they trickle them down to y'all. How is this a good thing for Sony? Because the only reason as to why Sony's even staying afloat is due to the membership fees. That is it.
And now these companies are completely
Because clearly
collapsing.
they're not making any money off the game development.
Statements like this would have gotten you laughed at a decade ago.
Yeah, and statements like I've been saying are getting us laughed at right now, but as time goes on, you guys are going to be, I mean, you guys are already the laughing stock now, and it's only going to be worse once gaming is fully realized, like I've been telling you. Gaming is going live service and subscription. As much as you people want to keep arguing that, if it wasn't, then why does Sony have 12 games planned to release? And the only game that didn't get canceled was Marathon, and we know that game's gonna fail.
And I do think these are the four companies that, in my mind, are being killed specifically by these higher development costs. So,
oh, really? That's funny, because you could say the same thing about PlayStation.
Hey, now we can't put out a game in 2 years. We got to spend 5 years on it, and then
look no further than Concord, a $400 million failure.
Hundreds of millions of dollars on a marketing budget to make sure it gets enough attention, to hope it sells, to hope it breaks even.
I thought PlayStation gamers bought games. Why do you guys have to hope for something to buy? You just further prove the point that nobody buys games, bro. We told you this, man. How many times have I told you that free-to-plays and live service and subscriptions is the future of gaming? And I go as far to say that people have never, the concept of buying games, just like completing games, was never a notion that was known back then. Most people rented their games from Hollywood Video and Blockbuster. The concept of buying games didn't really start happening to the PS3 and 360, and you still had services like GameFly that people supported. People didn't buy games back then, and they're not going to proceed to buy games now, because you know why? It's not in their bloodline. This is something that think about it. How many failures did we have back then, man? And the only games that people bought were the ones they were familiar with. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Grand Theft Auto was popular then, and it's popular now. Madden, same thing. Nothing has changed. As you proceeded to get older, the same franchises are dominating. Rainbow Six, all these games that I remember playing on the PlayStation 1 are still doing very well now. The only new games that are dominating is the free-to-plays.
All of these companies have put out tons of bombs recently, and it does seem like, unfortunately, as much as I like some of the stuff they've done, I don't know how long these companies are going to live. And I do feel like, if anything, a $100 price tag is going to make it even harder to get people to be able to experiment.
Oh, here we go. We want to talk about experimentation. That's funny, because Xbox Game Pass Ultimate gives you the ability to experiment games at a great value of hundreds of games day and date. So you just further proved our point that nobody cares to buy games. People will buy selective games, but they will not buy games they don't want. It is what it is. People have gotten comfortable in what they're playing. You're not going to get a Fortnite guy to go play Marvel Spider-Man 2. They might buy his skin on the game, but they're not going to pick up your game. This is what you people don't understand, man. Y'all living in the 90s. Get up out of here, man.
Gaming at this point is becoming stale, not just because of the remasters or remakes and stuff like that, but at this point, trying to do stuff that is different doesn't get you funded.
Yeah, because putting a bald-headed lady in every single game is not going to help. That's not what do you mean? That's unique? I mean, games are all using the same concepts now.
A lot of these companies, even when it is an independent person, a lot of times they have to go to a publisher and say, hey, I've got this game, I've got a pitch, I've got 20% of it done. Could you help me fund it? Could you give me $1 million so that you could take...
And this is why the PlayStation 1 and 2 was successful. He's literally going to explain as to what I've been telling you guys about the publishing between PlayStation and third party at the time.
80% off the top when it gets published, but I need to be able to finish the game.
See, this is why when you see companies like Namco that was reliant, or even Square that was like, okay, you know, we'll take advantage of that, you know, give us free publishing and you take a cut out of it. That's why people think they were Sony exclusives. They were never exclusive. And now that Square, and well, Square went back to the old days trying to think they could rekindle something with the PS1. It did not happen. But Namco, Square, once they realized that we don't need you anymore, Sony, we are essentially good on our own. They realize they don't need you. They're not have to be tied to the platform. That's why games have gone fully third party. I remember people picking up a PS2 for Dragon Ball Budokai. There was no reason for that game to be exclusive at the time for the PlayStation. But since it was so popular, there you go.
I think that if you're going to a company and saying, hey, I have this idea that's radically different, it's very, very out there, companies aren't going to fund it. They're not even going to allow it because
there's not enough people interested in the game.
Like, okay, can I sell this for $100? Probably not, so I'm not even going to allow it to be made.
Yeah, now, because you need, with games being more expensive to create, of course they're going to need more people to buy the game. This is something a lot of your ponies are not understanding. You guys are acting like, oh, Astro Bot did good. It did because of the budget. I seen the budget. It did sell well and it was successful. But if Astro Bot was a $400 million game and it sold $1.5 million, it would have failed and flopped. That's why when you look at Astro Bot, you're like, man, this game could have been way more. But it probably could have been better than an Odyssey if they put the budget into it. But you can tell that Sony didn't want to waste that much money on it. You could just tell. And that's why the game feels a lot linear in some aspects. It's not as open. There's a reason for that, because Sony wasn't trying to take that gamble. And rightfully so, because look what happened.
Here's a Cromwell tweet from last night. You're not supposed to say this out loud. A good company raises salaries in line with inflation so their staff doesn't die. Opinions in a way, but I think they both bring up good points, which is, look, I have not bought a single $70 game this gen, and I'm not going to do it if games start costing $100, especially if...
people are going to buy it. Even if it's a game that they're comfortable with picking up, like GTA 6, there's nothing you guys can say about this game that's going to have this game fail. The name alone is what makes the money.
Age where games are incomplete, buggy, broken, or...
And I'm telling you right now, even if GTA 6 is 3 or 4 of those things, that game will still be the highest selling game of the year that it's released.
Poor performance. Why buy game day one when you'll get a better product at a later date for a cheaper price? Glad my FOMO is dead. I think a lot of people are coming to this point, especially PC gamers. I do see a lot of people that say, if the game doesn't run good, if it doesn't play good, if it doesn't have an actual ending...
See, this is another thing you guys don't understand. Games was broken back then, too. But we didn't complain like you fools did. Oh, look at the man clipping through the wall, man. Look at that. His arm is hanging out of the arm. The physics is not... But we didn't complain. We just played the game and had fun. And when we seen glitches, we laughed about it. Now y'all acting, oh, we got to take a few points off that. Because now we live in a era where gaming has to be perfectionism. It's got to be like how movies are. That's the problem with gaming. They're trying to be like movies and not just games, bro. Like, I remember playing Gears of War in the old days, and there's times where you blow the dude's head off and he's flying all the way in the air. We just laughed about it. Oh, they need to change it. They need it's not realistic and all this other stuff.
If it doesn't have really cool characters, I'm not going to buy it. There is good stuff to play. There is great stuff out there. There's a lot of stuff that, honestly, one thing I did not put in this video is I saw people talking about the fact that free to play is definitely going to take over the industry. If stuff.
Who said that first? Gamester with another W. Didn't I tell you that free to play and live service and subscription games is taking over? Didn't you make a video saying that live service and subscription is not the future of gaming? And now you're going as far to say that it is? So you're coping now. I told y'all. Let's go. Let's hear it again.
There's a lot of stuff that honestly,
I'm so conceited. I love hearing when I'm correct.
I did not put in this video is I saw people talking about the fact that free to play is definitely going to take over the industry.
Ha ha. GameStar already told you. So sit your little 1990s behind down.
Stuff start costing $100. People are only going to play free to play games. I do feel like
that's incorrect. Because people are already spending upwards to $100 plus on NBA 2K, Madden, all through the microtransactions, thousands of dollars. You're saying that they're only going to play free-to-plays, right? Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to sell well, guarantee, even at $100. Guarantee. Broken, imperfection, guarantee. Because the name alone, that's the game people want to play. So you guys don't understand the market, man. You think that people want to spend... People don't even want to spend $20 on these garbage games. Okay? That's why I be getting these games on discount. Sometimes I say to myself, why did I even pick up Final Fantasy 16 for $20 and I still don't want to play it? I still have it sealed. Forspoken, same thing. I'm buying games I ain't even playing. I don't even want it for $20.
Once stuff starts costing $100, people are going to buy almost nothing.
That's not true because they're not buying anything anyway, even at 60. And you know what's even more funny? What do you think is going to happen? Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. More people are going to stay subscribed to subscription services. There you go. People have never bought games, man. It's been like this. It's been like blockbusters since the beginning. I know so many gamers back then that the main source of consuming video gaming was through renting.
Do you feel like? And here's the last tweet. And I want to make it a point. I'm not attacking Shadow Elite here, but he says, it's amazing how people don't think this is possible. GTA 6 could cost $100 for the base game, and it would probably still be the greatest game ever sold. And I bet same people arguing against $100 would still be the one to buy it.
He's right, though.
Obviously, I'm not saying that he's like taking a hot take. I just
that's not a hot take. That is completely correct.
Feel like this is... To me, this feels a bit like a strange stance. When people are like...
it's a strange stance because it doesn't align with my 1990s.
Okay, even with the higher-priced games, the stuff at the top is still going to sell.
Yeah, we know that.
People talk a lot about trickle-down economics, about, hey, if companies are more profitable, they can pay their employees more, which means bigger bonuses, which means more projects, which means a lower turnover rate, which means more dedication. But it just doesn't seem to actually work like that in any industry.
It doesn't work like that? So you want to put $1,000 right now, man. Let's put $1,000. GTA 6 would be the highest selling game of its year if it's priced at $100. I will make that wager.
Like, they started paying CGI artists like crap in movies.
And you think they care about how you feel about the product that you're consuming? As long as they get in that money, they don't care.
And now every Marvel movie has absolutely awful CGI.
Whoa, you think they care? Do you really think they care, bro? Do you think they care about your enjoyment?
I feel like that same effect is going to happen here. Increasing.
So you're essentially saying that GTA 6 is not going to sell at the price that it is?
Of video games is not going to suddenly make better video games. If anything, I am going...
He did not say that. You are misinterpreting what he's saying. He's saying that the people complaining about it are going to be the first people picking it up, which he's right, and they're going to be the same people buying it for $100. He's absolutely correct. You're misinterpreting what he's saying because you're being a pathetic little console fanboy. Let's hear it again.
That same effect is going to happen here. Increasing the cost of video games is not going to suddenly make better video games. If anything...
He did not say that. You are misinterpreting what he's saying.
I am going to die on the hill that I think it's going to have the opposite effect. Higher price...
So you're essentially saying that GTA 6 is going to fail. Are you willing to stand on that hill? Because that's what you're saying.
Games
Let's hear it.
Is measurably going to lead to more crap. But
you think it's going to lead to it, bro? We already got crap. What is you talking about, bro? People ain't picking us up for $60 anyway. What do you mean? We're already in a crap shoot.
These are just pins off the cuff thoughts. How do you guys feel about $100 video games? And do you actually think this is possible?
For certain particular games, yes. But like I said, like Phil Spencer said before, GameStar with another W. It doesn't matter what we do. You know why Perfect Dark and Fable and all these games exist? Because they're making the money back concurrently through Game Pass Ultimate. That's why they exist. You think Microsoft knows that their audience are going to pick up Perfect Dark? They know that. Bro, there's nobody that's going to be interested in that game. But everybody benefits. The hardcore, the casual, because even if the casual wants to just play Call of Duty through Game Pass Ultimate, Microsoft don't care because they're getting the same amount of accumulated money every month. Microsoft is able, just like what you said in this video, to experiment, because regardless if they put a big budget game on Game Pass, like a Redfall, or let's say if a game that failed, they made the money back in return anyway, just for allowing you to play a day and date. So they don't care. That's what you guys don't understand, so we're all happy. That's why these games exist. But if it wasn't for that notion, we know they would be just like Sony. Scaring to put games out. I mean, Microsoft clearly has more money, but I'm just saying they'd be scared. That's why Sony don't want to put out games, because they're afraid that they're going to fail.
Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it.
You fanboys are just living in the past, man. When Legend of Zelda went to $10 for the Tears of Kingdom, they still bought it. If Nintendo says we're going to do $100 Pokemon games, they're going to buy it. Matter of fact, they've already done it. You're like, huh, what do you mean, Games? You always go with these controversial hot takes, right, is what they call them. No. More like hot cakes, because they're going to buy Scarlet and they're going to buy Violet. That's $120 right there for the same game with a different Pokemon on it. Y'all going to sit there and act like I'm lying to you? That's facts. How many people you know buy 2 Pokemon games and they're identically the same? Not Arceus, Pokemon X and Y. They buy both of them. Pokemon Shield and Sword. They buy both of them. Because for a warrior to be a warrior, he needs his sword and he needs his shield. That's how Nintendo fans see their games. They're going to buy it. They're going to buy their remasters for the price that Nintendo. I guarantee. I mean, look at it. They did it with Donkey Kong Country Returns, bro. Luigi's Dark Moon 3DS games. And they out here charged $60 and people bought it. They did it for Donkey Kong Country Returns and then outsold Astrobot. It's embarrassing. Come on, man. When people want to buy something, for things that people want to buy, they will buy it. The problem is Sony can't offer nothing. People like Nintendo for Nintendo games. People like Xbox for Xbox games. PlayStation they don't like their own games. So you guys buying Xbox games is only hurting your argument. You're only hurting PlayStation. You're only hurting your brand when you decide to pick up an old Gears of War Ultimate Edition over Intergalactic. That's why Microsoft's putting games on your platform, because they know Sony's hurting right now. And they're taking the market share straight from your platform with old games. And you people are buying them, and rightfully so. Microsoft, take advantage of that market. You guys are getting Trojan horse. You talk about how Xbox dudes are getting it from the behind, but you guys are the ones getting it from behind. Because for every Xbox game that drops on your platform, a Sony exclusive dies. You want to sit there and talk about Ubisoft and all these Rocksteady, all these companies are going under? Let's talk about how Sony canceled 12 games. I don't care if they're multiplayer. They canceled 12 games, bruh. And PlayStation 5 has had the most failures out of anybody. Who cares about what happened to Redfall? You guys have been falling all over the place. 12 failures. Let's go through the failures of PlayStation real quick. Destruction All-Stars. Demon's Souls Remake didn't really sell that well. Okay? But I mean, it's kind of a hit-wishy one, so it's kind of hard to say. But the ones I know for sure. Destruction All-Stars, flop. Rise of Ronin, flop. Stellar Blade, flop. Final Fantasy Rebirth, flop. Final Fantasy 16, flop. These are flops, man. Astrobot would be a flop if it wasn't for that budget. I mean, every game, Silent Hill 2, it flopped. All these games are flopping on PlayStation, man. Concord, flopped. Marathon, when it comes out, that's gonna flop, man. That is going to flop. Y'all know it, man. PlayStation ain't doing good right now. Their best games is Gran Turismo, Marvel's, which are all cross, mind you, their best games are cross-gen. Gran Turismo, 1. Marvel Spider-Man 2. Well, that's not a cross-gen, so they got lucky. God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West. Those are 4 games that are successful. And Astrobot mostly due to budget, but not enough to really make a mad amount of money. Not enough money to be like, oh, we're going to put this in another one. It's not that type of money. They need the game to sell way more than that to fund that back into the consumers. But 12 games got canceled from PlayStation. And you guys want to act like, oh, they're not dead. They're not, I mean, at this point, you guys might as well pick up an Xbox. How are you guys going to sit there and say Xbox gamers are stupid for buying an Xbox when you're buying a PS5 to play Xbox games and they're playing them first? even regardless if they come to PlayStation or not, you're not getting them the way you want to. You're not getting them the way you want to. At the end of the day, Xbox gamers are getting them first. They're getting them with the value of Game Pass Ultimate to where they don't even have to buy games. As far as I'm concerned, playing Xbox games on Xbox is a luxury. And playing it on PS5 is like eating crumbs off the ground. Because y'all ain't got nothing because Sony ain't putting games for y'all. That's why Sony's expanding by putting their stuff on PC to compensate for the lack of money. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Like I said, bro, this fool is at it again, bro. He does not know what he's talking about. But like I said, the only games that are going to do well are the games that people are already playing. And you guys already know what game those are. Peace out.